First of three between the Orioles and the Seattle Mariners, and Dan Connolly from BaltimoreBaseball.com joins us. And Dan, I know you want to talk a little bit about Nelson Cruz and the fact that he doesn't maybe get enough credit for being the star that he is.
Yeah, he's been one of the best players in baseball for several years. We saw him in 2014. He was the most valuable Oriole. Went into Seattle. And the great thing about Nelson Cruz is there's only 15 guys in all of baseball who hit 40 or more home runs at least once since 2014. Nelson's done it 3 times. Only Arenado of Colorado has done it more than once. So this guy's one of the best, most consistent power hitters in baseball, and we really don't think about him because, there's so many other names like Trout and those guys.
I think the other thing, too, about Nelson Cruz, the fact that now he plays in Seattle and has played for Texas, he doesn't get the exposure that the East Coast teams get.
Right, and and he only played 1 year with Baltimore, and I think he's also been overshadowed a lot when you look at a Robinson Cano, you look at all those great hitters that they had in Texas and even in Baltimore with Chris Davis and some of these other guys. But he truly is one of the most consistent power hitters that we've seen in the last, say, 5 or 6 years.
And a lot of the Oriole players seem like they still like him, like to be around him.
Right. He told me that he actually talks to both Jonathan Scope and Manny Machado on a daily basis. And he told me that he goes back and forth with Scope all the time in texting because they're in a RBI race right now where Cruz has 101 RBIs and Jonathan's 5 or 6 behind. So he says they talk trash a lot and they're always going back and forth. But he considers those two, very, very close to him, and they continue to be friends, through these years.
Scope 6 RBIs behind Nelson Cruz as we speak. How about Donnie Hart? Now, I know you had a chance to talk to Donnie Hart, and of course he's from the Texas area, which is being flooded and then hurricane right now in that Gulf Coast area.
Right. It's an interesting situation because Donnie Hart has been called up to the Orioles today, and he may only be there for a day or two, depending on when Dylan Bundy comes back. But usually when a young guy like that comes driving up from Norfolk, all he's thinking about is pitching for the Orioles or pitching in the majors. Not Hart. Today he said he was on the phone the entire time talking to people in Texas. He grew up about 30 miles west of Houston in Katy, Texas, and he said he's been talking to all kinds of friends, family members. Everybody seems to be safe. Everyone's like at his parents' house right now. He said they don't even own dogs, and there's been 5 dogs at their house because people have just been bringing themselves and and their animals to him.
Must be tough though that you can't help out when you're obviously on the East Coast right now playing baseball.
Right, and it's tough for him. And he basically said that he's trying to get, like, one of his friends has an airboat, and so he's trying to get that guy hooked up with other people. So he's been calling back and forth. So he's trying to do as much as he possibly can without actually being in Texas.
Well, check out Dan Connolly on BaltimoreBaseball.com. He's got great information on the Orioles, covering them on a regular basis. And we appreciate Dan spending some time with us here on Xtra.